And if you're a person of faith, there may be times when you've felt angry at God. And if you've ever reached the point of wanting to yell at a higher power, there's a reverend who says that's okay. Ian Punnett serves in the Episcopal Church, and he is the author of a new book. It's called How to Pray When You're, shall we say, peeved at God. Ian, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Why do you say that when you're angry at God, that's the time to pray?
Well, because it's important to treat that relationship with the divine like we would with any relationship, and we'd want to be honest. We'd want to be able to put our cards up on the table. We want to be able to be truthful with the people that we love. And if we are in a relationship with God, it's important not to pray around our anger, but to pray through it, to be honest about it, because if we really do, as we saw there in that scene from the West Wing, if we really do believe in an omniscient God, well, then God is reading our thoughts anyway, so we might as well say them out loud.
So prayer is a conversation with God.
Done right, yes, and if it's done wrong, then it's just sort of, you know, holy words that we kind of throw at God and hope that it gives us some sort of magic that keeps us out of trouble. But too often we know that, especially whether you're liberal or conservative, if you have the belief that if you pray enough, no bad things will happen to you, and then something bad happens to you, that's often when it comes crashing down the most.
And when you think about things happening, this is so timely when you think about Newtown and you think about Boston, Aurora, Texas. There's a very long list. And people always say, you know, God doesn't give you more than you can handle. God needed another angel in heaven. You call that bumper sticker religion. That drives you nuts.
Bumper sticker theology is the kind of thing I hear back from, especially from women. I hear so often from people who have bought the book and told me what it meant to them, because they felt that anger starting to build up when they were in the receiving line at their child's funeral, and people were trying to order the world for them. They were trying to tell them, oh, this makes sense, and you know, you can handle this, or this wouldn't be happening to you. Well, you know, they say, I can't handle this, and so it shouldn't be happening to me.
But people who say that haven't been through it, you say.
Exactly. Often that's all about the person who's saying it, not the person who's receiving it. It's about trying to make them feel better, not trying to make the person who is going through that grief have some relief.
But you say anger can be a good thing, because you don't, just the title of your book, you don't expect to see those words along with the word of God. But you say anger can be good and we should use that.
Well, and in regard to the title, so many people had said that to me when I was doing rotations as a chaplain intern in hospitals, and they would just say, I'm just too pissed at God to pray. And so that's really why I love the title, because this is, well, then this is how to do it when you are. And yes, anger can be virtuous. Anger can be good if it's done in proportion, if it's done with the right spirit. If we didn't have the appropriate amount of anger, we never would have had the civil rights movement. We wouldn't have we wouldn't be banding together to save the school that's at the end of the street. I mean, that's the kind of indignation that produces something positive, constructive, and constructive anger is good.
Ian Punnett, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.